Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another Farming Simulator 22 video. Talking to John Deere. Precision farming. Long ass episode, let's already get into it.
Welcome to this interview. My name is Stefan Maurus and I'm a gameplay programmer here at Shine Software. And now it's all about the Precision Farming DLC. Some of you might know this already, but this DLC was not only developed by us, it was also developed with some others. And one of them is John Deere. And this leads us to our special guest today. It's Dr. Thomas Engel from John Deere.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad to be here and talk about precision farming. My name is Thomas Engel. I'm also a farm boy. I grew up on a farm. I studied agricultural sciences in München, Weinstefan, and then I stayed there as assistant professor, and that was in the 90s. And at that time, we had already our first precision farming project. Nobody talked outside the university about that, and we did already use GPS at that time. And after that, I joined in 97. I joined class and introduced the first precision farming products into the market, yield mapping especially. And then in 2000, I joined Deere. So I'm now 21 years with John Deere. And I was first responsible for the development of precision farming products. And then I had the overall responsibility for precision farming in Europe till 2015. And since then, I'm manager technology innovation strategy, looking further ahead, what are the next important technologies in future we should work on, and also working with universities, with students, working with startups, and but most of the time it's all related to precision farming. So precision farming is more or less the area where I'm in since 30 years.
That's pretty interesting that precision farming is more than 20 years old and not just a thing that came up a few years ago. That's also new to me. Can you tell us a little bit about the project? How did it came up and what was your role in that project?
I think precision farming, like I said, is quite old, but the adoption at the farmers level is still not where it should be. And also a lot of people outside agriculture have no clue about that. That's why we thought a project or a DLC for the precision farming simulator could be quite interesting. And then another thing came, and that is called EIT Food. So EIT Food is a big consortium, and John Deere is a member of that consortium. So first of all, EIT, what is EIT? EIT is the European Institute for Innovation and Technology, located in Budapest in Hungary. And these EIT, they give EU money for different funding areas, and they initiated so-called KICs, knowledge and innovation communities, with partners from industry, from universities, from RTOs like Fraunhofer in Germany. So typically these KICs are 50 to 100 partner companies and universities for a specific area. And one area is EIT Food, so the food chain, starting with primary production on the farm level up to the consumer. And the idea is just to improve overall the knowledge about food, how it's produced, but also changing nutrition habits of consumers. And so we thought...
I'm just gonna pause him here. I'm learning a lot, except for Snapchat interrupting and quieting the sound. I don't know what he said these last few seconds. Maybe like 20. Anywho, back to the video.
This sounds an opportunity to get funding for that, because precision farming, people should know more about that. They should know more about it. And that's why we applied for a project there with several partners. And yes, it was accepted. And so we started that project last year and finally got, as a result, a DLC.
Yeah, so it's also, in my opinion, really important to tell the people that farming is, a lot more than we tell in the game. In our game, most of the things are really simplified to make the game enjoyable, and so it's fun playing it. And also the precision
really
farming DLC
anymore. I'm
aims
tired.
also for that fun. So it's also a bit
Maybe
simplified,
yes.
but yeah, tells the
Yeah,
people
here we are.
that it's more than a simple process that farmers are doing out there.
Yeah, I
You
think
know
what,
what? I like the
our
movie
goal
into
of
the
the
game,
project
so-
was really, first of all, telling people what is precision farming and what is the difference to traditional farming. Traditionally, a farmer, he has a field and he
Yep.
grows one crop, sugar beets or wheat, and does on the whole field everywhere the same. But we know from the early days of precision farming, when we had the first yield mapping, so a sensor on the combine that measures yield, that we have a huge variety. We have
Whoa.
areas of the field where the yield is double as high as other areas. And the reason is either soil differences, landscape plays a role. On top of a hill, you typically have less water, and water is running off. In the valley, do you have enough or more than enough water? So typically, you have a lot of yield differences, and so we think you need to therefore do a variable rate application, like we call it. So, and that's how it all, let's say, all these ideas came together. We say we need to when we have a high yield and we do just, let's say, the average fertilization, then eventually we haven't applied enough fertilizer. If we have a low yield, we have applied too much, and that's bad for the environment. And so that nitrate will go to the groundwater. And so therefore, I think we need to change that. And with that, we also think we can, on the top yield areas, we still can increase yield and we can improve quality of the crop, and it is good for the environment. So overall, a win-win situation for the farmer, for the customer, because he gets a higher quality product, and also for the environment.
Yeah, that was also a new thing to me. So that if you got lower yield, you have to apply less fertilizer. I mean, I thought it would be, you have lower yield, you apply more fertilizer, and then you have more yield in general, so you match the field. But it's, exactly the opposite. So that was also new to me as a developer of the game. So
Yeah, I think it depends. So if the low yield is related to sandy soil with less water capacity, etc., then you need to reduce. If there could be other reasons like compaction or any other reasons, but normally it's the soil. And therefore, I think to have the soil maps is key for precision farming.
The general image of farmers is, let's say, not the best, but it seems like that farming is a lot more than most of the people think.
Yeah, I think that image problem that farming has was one of the reasons why we applied for that project. Because in that project, one of the goals is to raise awareness, how food is produced, and also improve knowledge about food production. People think farming 50 years ago, the small family-owned farm with a few cows and a few pigs and everything, that was the perfect farming. But first of all, nobody could, with that size of farming, produce the food as for that low price where it is at the moment. So, and on the other hand, we know that we have really, with modern farming technology, this is much better for the environment. And like I said before, less nitrate leaching to the groundwater. One of the reasons why we have too much nitrate in the groundwater is that traditional farming, that we treat the whole field the same. And therefore you have a surplus of nitrogen in some areas, and that goes to the groundwater. Modern farming is much better and is much more sustainable than previous farming. And therefore, I think it's important that I know that. I don't think we need to turn the clock backwards like it was 50 years ago. No, we need to ensure that more precision farming technologies are adopted by the farmers. And that's why we say, okay, we want to, first of all, improve knowledge for under young farmers about precision farming. They
Yeah.
learn that nowadays in universities, etc. But also some kids should know about that, and some are also multipliers in their families. So modern farming and precision farming is good for the environment and produces high quality food.
And also, so a game is like a really good way to tell the people in a fun way that there is more.
That's why we thought we reach a wide audience, and for us, I think, as probably we didn't talk about that yet, as John Deere, it's also important that everybody understands that John Deere, our goal is more than just selling and producing machinery. Part of our higher purpose are 4 principles, and one of the principles is we are evergreen, green as our color, and also green as for nature. So we are evergreen as stewards for land, air, and water that sustains us. So we think more. We not only think about producing machines. We think how can we improve overall life of everybody on the planet.
That's really interesting that it's not, that's a lot more than just great tractors in John Deere. So in the project, there were also other parties involved, like you said, universities already. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I think in these projects, you need to have, like in all EU-based projects, you need to have partners from several countries, from several areas. And so in that case, we said, okay, we need education. We need also universities involved. So I think we looked for partners and found partners. One is University of Hohenheim, located close to Stuttgart, one of the largest universities for agriculture in Germany. Then we have the University of Reading, close to London, also a famous agricultural university. And they worked with students and discussed the DLC and what should be in such a module in a game. How could we implement the ideas of precision farming in a game? So they delivered feedback. We had sessions with them, workshops. That's one thing. Then we have Grupo AN from Spain. So we also have covered Southern Europe. They are a big cooperative and they have more than 30,000 farmers as members.
Nice.
So they delivered also, we had sessions with young farmers there. They also delivered input into that and gave us constructive feedback. Since this year, it is now the 2nd year of the project, which just started. We also have the Institute for Animal Reproduction and Food Research from the Polish Academy of Sciences. So with that, we cover also, let's say, young farmers in Eastern Europe, but also we cover with that the research side and the communication side, so that we also make that product and that module or increase awareness not only in Western and Southern, but also in Eastern Europe, so that we have a good representation of all areas. And finally, clearly we needed somebody to implement that or to develop that module or that DLC, and that was clear. We needed to.
We're gonna back it up. We're gonna discuss more of this later. Tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.
The Bible.
This is the Bible.
You question the words of the mighty German.